Hey, so, hello guys, it's me, Gaming Star here, and today I am back with another episode of Grace Attorney to Resolve. Last time we had basically completed Memoirs de Clara Kokoro, and yeah, so we completed that, we completed the final trial dose, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This time we're gonna go ahead and start the investigation, the first part of the investigation of Return of the Great Departed Soul. This case is, so let's start, shall we? Here we go. Drop the mic real quick.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology, a glimpse into the future. A world first, a demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine! A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before. In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you! This one, yes! Woo! Yes! Please, that's not what I wanted!
Okay. 2nd of October, 22nd of October. Read the dialogue. Rena, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what is that, Edis? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Don't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, it's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper is full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I had to go sometime. There you go. You're really not your usual self today. You seem really down. Don't you agree, Harley? Did you say something, beauties? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Ah! Right, Mr. Nadahodo. I've been here for about half an hour already. We've had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? Well, you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast. He's quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could have just reasoned perfectly well for simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tussle hair this morning saw really spikes. Clearly, you've been deduced before, if I've that. Let me stop you there, Mr. Schultz, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. So always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently. That's been 6 months now. Hi, Kuka. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Hmm? Did you say something, Edis? Back to nothing. Hi, Mario. How's my boyo? What's the matter with Mr. Schultz today? He seems to be more down in the dumps than me. I know, the great exhibition is open. Do you think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we go see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for a line long. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So embroiled some trickery case that can't be distracted from. Stat it. I don't remember hearing you working on a case, Hurley. I suppose they should try to find out what's going on. Event 6 months ago. Half a year ago now, I took the defense of a young girl to trial heard at Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place in London pawnbrokery turned out to be a part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. Revealing government secrets. Worst now, the situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Nadahodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Hi, Mario. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend time research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Reno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room and notes about old Sholmes cases. Brewing me these special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You become something of a manservant around here, starts silverware next, Master Nadahodo. Well, I'm thinking going to ask the powers to be able to reconsider, specifically Roller Strongheart at the British Supreme Court of Whitehall. Or Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice, not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working courts again. I got to Brim and became the best lawyer I could. I can't do just sitting around here. The Great Exhibition. The whole London's been swept up in Great Exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science and most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, you know what I like to do? I like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on the... Oh, do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course. To fly high in the sky, I don't even need wings to do this. Just in hot air. But how? How does hot air have to do anything flying? Makes no sense! Can't understand it at all. That's true, a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all those things will be just common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong in open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I believe how bad some of those scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See every page of this paper carries an article about our exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows can cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, the drizzle, the proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record. Shadows cast behind. Is that a memorable way of referring to the back page of the paper? Your gloomy mood. Are you investigating a particular tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You should add a post. Nothing more to add. That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Nadahodo. We will discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strange, Fern. What do you mean, Edis? Well, usually... The more mysterious, complicated case, the more better Hurley's mood is. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Hades, please, you must exercise these two powered observation and deduction will be a foundation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual who about you making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Schultz? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make way to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. So, let's go ahead and check out the paper. We're going to go check out the paper. Oh, what's this? So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on here. Oh, there's a lost cat. Oh no. Right, I'm looking at this one. Same Burford Hospital and Public Health Services. Public Health Report. If I can read these. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? Our friends aim to imitate a man of justice. The Reaper attacked. Says Lord Van Ziek's a compatriot cornered. Altamont Gas Company. French court hears glass eye case. Sorry, let me see what this says. The Juge de Pax Newly was presented today in a most curious case. A lady who refused to pay her dues to the purchase of one glass eye. The whole affair began with Madame Polite. The defendant ordered the eye as a replacement of a natural eye she had lost. Upon his arrival, she found that she could see no more and became incensed with the paying of the deficient product. The judge picked up the reason Madame devoured the pay of the fiery ball gown sets Dan's ablaze. What are these articles? I can read these. What are these articles? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zieks. Let's see what Mr. Schultz is talking about. Does he know anymore, I wonder? It's really hard to see, but you only have to look closer to see it. And then we have the exhibition. First test matter of death support device. Every article in the exhibition. Full experimentation of brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits around the globe. It's also positive and helpful in the country. This won't stay popular too long. So, let's go ahead and talk to him about this certain thing. About the Reaper attacked. What's this about? It says the paper Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know about the legend of the Reaper de Bailey, of course, don't you? To effect. Yes, Prosecutor Van Zieks. Van Zieks. They say his Reaper. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, the one person's left is short. London's finest route is always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics, these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Nuttahuddle? Yes, I've seen Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these crime routers are reckless and quite unafraid to die. The leader among their fraternity seems to be seen taken by the Reaper. They've actually occur. Really, the capital has never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then, Lord Van Zieks? I mean, my dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zieks and his condition, will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, I shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. And that's the case, you and I should require somebody to know. But, Lord Strongheart, perhaps? See, I'm using this instead. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Schultz. Ha! You really are a shameless liar, you know, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me down guard. Follow me, don't you? Well, you won't waste your time. The thought had crossed my mind, but I'm wondering where you did. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Alright then, Runo. Let's get going. Oh, Edith, what are you wearing? I've got to change to go to the exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was going to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there too. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course, after the Supreme Court, we'll go to the Secret Exhibition. So, let's go over back to, so we can go to Lord Chief Justice's office, but we're not going to do it just yet. Let's go back up. Let's do the shovel. The office spade. None of us is those kind of shovels. Maybe I'll do it myself. That's not a spade, Mr. Host, a shovel. Ah, you're a spader, aren't you, Runo? Why, do you want to battle it out? Alright, I'm not going to be a native English speaker who's the kind of gun. Okay, so we did that. I just wanted to kind of do that so we could get the achievement later. We'll get in the same episode, so we'll get in the same case. Because there's another shovel. Alright, here. We're back here, aren't we? We're back. been 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I've always seemed to find in this place. It doesn't seem to be bothering Edith at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I thought I found interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you had been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Miss Susato-san was given the news to return to Japan. Also, by the way, the outfits that they're wearing is, Sholmes, Susato, and Rinosuke are wearing are all, are all like little outfits you can change in a special menu. So that's what I'm wearing for this case. I say we should speak to him. I'll show you where you can get it. Oh, Lord Strongheart, I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see, since you arrived in the request, no audience has been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting for a while. My apologies. Oh, not at all. I like when we're just sitting around staring into space. Get me. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Alright, let's talk. It's been a while. Mel Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only a savoured air from the Grand Office to understand his pro-eminent status. As you be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result. Policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Cincinnati. Oh, I've not heard of that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do. Yeah, of course. And it is my highest priority. The others must wait for my intention as results, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine this is about. Thank you for agreeing to meeting me, my lord. I want to be able to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me today. But actually, there's something else I'm playing in my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it. Alright, here we go. Permission to work. Actually came here today to ask for permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened. But the thing is, I had to reveal government secrets to the court because Gregson won't talk. It made me understand that I really need to defend somebody under the rules of the foreign justice system. And I desperately want to go and let her go. Please permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Rada, hold on. Yes? Here it goes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? No, not at all. At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. That's true. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour. Not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in his office now. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission within your young student was supposed to realize. What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studying obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you so much! That's wonderful news, Reno. In fact, I believe I have a perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. What? Of course! Please tell me more! Forensic Science Cincinnati. What's that about? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world because I was the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium? It does seem that criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Yeah, of course. Exactly. Ah! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at similar startling rates, so it's imperative that we link scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible, which is what is known forensic science, isn't it? I love forensic science, interesting. Exactly, the future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adopting the forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly, it's extremely alarming. If it were Her Majesty Attorneys General, you can be sure the number of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. That's very specific. Sorry? But my apology for keeping you waiting earlier. I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. Oh, sweet. It all began 15 years ago. Holy shit. That's a lot of reasons. God damn. You keep going. Oh my. Bro. And no matter if less sums up the fields in the matter, simplest terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard, that is my mission. Oh, right, yes. It's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it would be. I am so sleepy, dude. Easy to pay attention. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, is it over? Did I learn anything useful? Actually drifted off for the most part. Surprisingly attended forensic science. A curious affair. You described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident in Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no. Yes, I read about it. A professor in Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How is it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think? Instantaneous kinesis? Is it moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care. Whatever, the serious accident was exactly captured his imagination. It's an unfortunate business. Large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and the man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Assman. I'm sorry, but I'm laughing at the name. Assman. Investigators, well-known figure in society. Large explosion. I'm reading dialogue. A man died? Nope.
Hi, this is Paolo.
No! So immediately after the incident, he's spirited to court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? He intends to take his defense. He should hurry to leave the prison. There's very little time left to carry out any kind of investigation. The great exhibition, scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? They'll have done before he even started still. We should go to the prison straight away then. Joining a great German professor, don't you think? He's so good about the case. There's a connection with your mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, it's Lord Van Zieks? How? Alright, let me present the... Okay, so we're gonna present the... we're gonna go back. So we're gonna have to present this one. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition. No, not that. The story in the back page. What story? This. Alright, let me see. London's top prosecutor, Varag Van Ziek's life is come to fret yet again as a group of heavily armed assailants brandishing knives, large knives and pistols, ambushed the last night. Decided to Reaper the Bailey and his companion, Valiant, keeping the mob of blackguards at bay, captured a reporter who then rushed straight away at the police report his most heinous crimes. As hostile exhibition, the city of London's Caleb Ford has such brutal acts of violence according to the streets. Lord Chief Justice's office assured in response to the latest incident. As to Lord Van Ziek's condition, it will be tomorrow's issue. You've enjoyed some victories in the court against my number one prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed. Was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Ziek's gonna have this defense, actually. Can you tell us what happened? I really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Van Ziek's condition, what happened to him? Fortunately, Lord Van Ziek's emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. What was the attack, though? Do we know? It related to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations said they got prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. No doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money. A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met dramatic end yesterday. But it's not suggesting he was working on raper, surely. The victim's henchman certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Assman. Mr. Odie Assman. Did you say Assman? That's the man who died in the explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes, known public as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. He's an ass man. I wonder, could I ask anything, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you sort of as prosecutor? Let me see what else again. All the criminals managed to get into the courtroom amid a series ends outside the courtroom. I'm fearful that I failed to seek to strike Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence to actually his Reaper at the scene, but still, something clearly is going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths criminals have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make any sense. How can you explain if somebody died in someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself a moniker as a Reaper, but he's no killer. He only continues to prosecute on behalf of the crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be late for next engagement. I'm already 11 hours, 16 minutes late, and my colleagues are maybe starting to fidget. 11 hours late, that's quite something. Listen, I could be like a few minutes late, like even an hour or 2 late, but 11 hours is way too much for me. That meeting already started when I arrived back in my engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me. Drino's 12 solid arguments with 223 reasons. Oh, yeah, sorry, I find Lord Van Zieks now. I would assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go ask him. Straight away. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Oh, of course. Thank you very much, my lord. Alright, let's go. Alright, so our next destination is going to be the prosecutor's office. Oh, so this is a legendary Reaper's office. Yes, it appears so. Ugh, it's chilling on my spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly delightful atmosphere. Oh, is that? Who's that down there? That hooded figure was still notice his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah! Oh, hello! Jesus, I'm welcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. Oh, hi. So, who's the person over there by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh, he's just alone? That's my pretense. He's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. He has a lot of wine in his office. Holy shit. Must be the same person who picks fiction newspaper. Looks very familiar, doesn't he? He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack of the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know Reaper's identity myself. Assuming that is such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our courtrooms. Alright. So let's go ahead and like look at the fine collection of hollow chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hollow bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. And yet you throw them around in the court like they were worthless. So true! Yes, because this imbecile is imaginably reporting wide of the mark sentence. Oh! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans their work you defile. So it's my fault? Silly me. How'd I ever thought of it otherwise? It's your own fault. There's a little exhibition here. Oh look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. kind of cute. It's adorable. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it if he my son was being busy attending in person? Or perhaps it's embarrassed to quip up for a ticket? Surely it's obvious that I'm using to investigate his aid. Ah! You Nipponese have no business of painting others as overly reserved. Maybe I have this picture on the wall. Who's here? That portrait scene really dominates the room, doesn't it? Who is here? Keep this in mind for later. It's a very majestic, often pose, but sadly, whoever painted it doesn't feel good job capturing the facial features. I don't think that's him. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not far. The artist has exaggerated subject's handsomeness, I think. Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him more attractive than they painted him. How vain. That's really not attractive quality of a person. The portrait does not depict me. Sure, that's immediately obvious. Oh, then, who is it? He doesn't say. Looks like it's a sensitive subject, so it's sensitive subject to him. And we have all the bottles! Look, all the ancient casks lining the wall there. Casks of the Reaper's chamber. Or are they caskets? You don't think? All those people who skip conviction in court lying inside the dead? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man! This is a collection of fine vintages! Oh! Yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Man, might have scratched me really bad on my leg right now. We know when I work music for ourselves. Don't mind us, Reaper. I wouldn't, if you hadn't invited yourselves in my office to take notes with my earshot. It really does punish him to me. I've never seen someone say like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You think perhaps he died? If he was, Rena, you'd say no, buddy. Well, anyway, dead or alive, I'm pretty sure he's not dead. Look at where Venzik's desk looks so stylish. And that's marble desk chess. That's the Western version of a Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Venzik sometime. To bout shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do your own home. I love how we just tosses him. Alright, let's talk. Last night's attack, what happened? Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmon's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent, presumably some hope to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmon. He always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used the money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty and he found himself in court, did he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his compliments in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was an unusual case of death. I know about that. It was a super high voltage insidious kinesis gone wrong? Mr. Asman died in a demonstration at the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion? Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause the accident like this to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. This man really did not feel Rupert. He has to be innocent, particular death at least. A strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Reno? I mean, what are they taking the professor's defense in the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Harebrine. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a compatriot of mine. We were in university together. Your... What?! Your contemporary. I understood that Professor Harebrine was from Germany, though. Harebrine's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. So you were studying students together. I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he's in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Yeah, she's been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you?! But you made it sound as you and the professor have been friends. We are friends, it's true. But why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him, he's doomed. What are Venzik's thinking? And I'm the Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? You'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? While trial under conviction or acquittal. Those are prosecuted villain as riches for society. People without question deserve to be found guilty. The world's a better place without them. That's not true. Mr. Natsume, for example, he isn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Ginny, in fact. She's so hardworking now. Mario! I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is, many of those vile wretches escaped justice because they died in mysterious circumstances. It was all they had of their own kind. It's not my work. Mario! Stronger said the same too. He believes in my law anyway. That goes refused because they believe it's true. Mario lick. He licked you. The fact is, since people started calling me Reaper de Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear the events of hardened criminals being fearful of their lives. I mean to say that if a pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, and with honor. Putting yourself in danger, you could be killed. If that's my fate, let God decide. Marvin sakes. Mario! Mario's like... Mario, salud! 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 Cuco! Cutie patootie. Go to the prison. Ugly man. Yeah, I know. Okay. Close the door. Excuse me, Professor Harebrine? So yeah, you actually do get an achievement. Okay, so I forgot to mention. So you actually do get an achievement if you show your defense attorney your defense badge your badge to Vans. You actually get an achievement. So you actually do get a little achievement. So yeah, you get a little achievement basically. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. So yeah, there we go. But let's get started. The prison. Who are you? I'm Yusuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Ah! Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would it be here? The experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... This is demonstration! The demonstration was... The fact of the demonstration was a success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in science. Let's explain. They all leave at high velocity. Now, probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made him concentration leave for a while, too. Yesterday's demonstration. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure, after all. The man died in explosion, didn't he? Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose this tricks the sense. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes right there in front of me. Mr. Raphael's face is assembled. Until now, everything was exactly as calculated predicted. At that point, we could have been beamed to Crystal Tower with his kinesis. However, the machine exploded. Mr. Assman, in fact, perished. Assman. It was really denied the part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Assman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had the arrest for suspicion of murder. I was responsible for the man's death. That's the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But... Murder? Never in a million years! That was an accident. Simply an accident. Okay. Yeah, I know. You and I were talking this morning, you know? You said the situation changed completely depending on whether or not she accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if this is really right, professors. Really, Professor Sushiva kept probably. On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's established in Britain. It's the Special Disposition of Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But in that case, it's treated as murder. Then they say my machine is a murder weapon. They'll be able to pour it all over as much as they like. And they examine the detail, find out what's made, and then able to copy my idea of French's hypothesis be stolen. The machine was protected at all costs. That's why I permitted this whole incident to show the accident tomorrow's trial. I see now. Instantaneous kinesis. So, in short, there's terrible accident at the Grey Exhibition showground yesterday. Yes, or rather, no, the devil in detail. Strictly speaking, there's a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. Oh, shit. They were demonstrating survival. The kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. We're technically made out of water, but I guess that still works. So it's possible using scientifically high voltage to break those bonds and beam particles through space. That's what it's in a nutshell. That's my idea. You see, it's an amazing hypothesis. Gosh, science. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such an incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be in the cell, and the next I could be in the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the blink of an eye, I could be in a great Persian theater. Say, possibilities are endless. The whole vast planet will be to reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes only in rocky seas for 50 days. Little reference. Oh, I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Edis? Well, you could travel anywhere in the world instantly. The planet wouldn't really seem to be vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it has shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? Does this mean? Oops, that's the Professor Bunny Brain really worried to look at it. Because just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, the calculations are flawless. Science works, but without a practical demonstration means nothing. That's what I'm finding to ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. The money the young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Harley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met one investor, Mr. Assman. The victim died yesterday's terrible accident, you mean. The victim. What do you know about him? Full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Assman, wasn't it? Exactly what was the relationship with this man. He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest my amygdala hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see, so you really had him. Money for scientific research? I'm so envious. As far as I'm concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis presentation at Greg Exhibition. And that's what I went well. I could accept additional financial support and research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with full money, an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Assman. I would never, ever thought of taking a man's life. Well, since genuine enough, I don't think he's lying. So let's go over back to, because there's something I forgot to do back in the prosecutor's office. Can I show you his feud? The article. Lord Van Zieks, what about the article in the paper? Ah, yes. It seems there was reported nearby where that little skirmish took place. Mario, come here, boy. Mario! I had no idea I'd been photographed. That was careless of me. He looks really cool in the top hat, though. He looks sexy in the top hat, don't get me wrong. This was taken after the people attacked you and ran away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's something else fighting alongside you, it seems. Alongside you. Him. I think it's the same man who's sitting over there to speak, isn't it? As mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about him? Your apprentice. Here's a tutelage regarding prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are too early then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. Come here, Mario. He's currently compiling a report of last night's attack. Oh, okay. Makes sense. It looks as if he's wearing some kind of mask. Oh, Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not for meaningless follies. There will be no good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Oh god, there's bets. Oh. It's him. I think I know who he is. Ah! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all of the briefs. Nice to meet you? I like how there are bats on the ceiling. Look, I just realized. There's bats in his room. Ah, dude, that is amazing. That was really strange, though. I never met that man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside the office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my princess anyway? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually and with the flawless posture. It couldn't be. Ah, yes, there's something of me to ask you. Oh, what's that? The Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one who was arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with that stoop and the mustache and the jitters. Ah, it's Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runa. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by International Postal the other day. I see. Well, I think we're going to have a discussion here, don't you? There's a little time before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe you're asking after Sasaki-san, after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with my scientist, did you? That's a turn up in the books. A mad scientist. You mean Professor Harebrine. Yes, it would work quizzing the professor about his relationship with Van Zieks. So, let's go. Thank you for the conversation. Really appreciate it. Let's go back to the prison and talk to him. The Reaper's varsity years. I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law while also studying science. That was like back then. A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor for Van Zieks. That was like when he was in university? He was a different person. Talk about leading question, you know. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he was a little darling of the Van Zieks family with all his great Lord, I can't say the word! I didn't realize he was quite noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper at the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there were very big events in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of events? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I was in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's certain about the Reaper, I really didn't know the heart to tell him to live as a prosecutor in court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me make absolutely sure I'm understanding properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor of your work. Is that correct? As correct as squared is 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that I'm a perishing machine of my inventions, so I know I'm far from blameless from all this. But still, if I never use my discoveries and my inventions to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. Oh man, science is all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of the truth, you know. So I always believed that all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe in you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of this matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. I thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Bruno. It's time. That's basically a great exhibition. Sorry. Well, there's always gonna happen, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate it last. Let's go. Showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. I've been walking around the dense crowd for 2 hours now, and I've felt my swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't they? Someone's been trotted 3 times, too. Be careful, won't you, Edie's? Look at my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation save the explosion happened yesterday. Ooh. What the? What's that? I can hear voices from up the stage. Sounds like an argument. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh, yeah? Go on, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence as you know it. Wait. I know those voices. You got a chicken little mouth on you, young lady, but at night the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, daddy, if you want a big bag of chips rammed up down your throat. Oh. Yoo-hoo! Grexy, what are you doing up there? Ah! Ah! It's you here! You're here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're doing well, your ladyship. Does that make 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. Far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there were 3-hour queue. Unbelievable! I'll go have a word your once, your ladyship. It's kind of no time I was to pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, Inspector of Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Just like us. He actually is quite well known, appearing in dozens of adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong in the stories offers Edie's. But there are limits, surely, or there would be. Watch it, sunshine! Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on the case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me, a situation, is it really that troubling? It's a missy 5 bobs, all you got. You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to get a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naroda. Hey! It's a nice bit of spending money, that is! You can't have it back. I have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. Hey, Gina. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred at East End of London. In that case, I led me to my own suspicion 6 months ago. This is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Odo? Diver, pickpocket. What's your whole name calling? What you want a big bag of chips rammed up your throat and all you? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing about Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assume you've been up to your usual tricks here in the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, although. After a long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be Scotland Yard detective. So y'all have to call me whatever everyone else does. The Inspector Lestrade now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part is entirely accurate. No one calls her that. That's what it's worth anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us now. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You'll hold the fort down here, right? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. See how you've been up to in 6 months. About Gina, what have you been up to? It was 8 months ago now that I encountered Gina in connection to the case I was working on. And at the time, she was living in East End with a group of other orphans. She helped a lot of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she embroiled in a murder. And then another. Added lots of time to go to prison. I realized I couldn't go on like this. The diving wasn't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from the being pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, isn't it? Inspector Lestrade sounds like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Edie's old man to think about. Edie's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police footage around the world to pull up all stop looking for him. Just a small plan instead. Nothing serious. Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's all I come to have the test for the Scotland Yard. Only trouble is I don't read so well. Do I? You can't read. It's a small problem. Nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Grexy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt in other words. So, the long and short of it is, you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's a bit of mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Bruno, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was defended in a trial and prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial where she was found not guilty and she's still here. Come on, you don't understand about the idea, the legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called. Good, you don't have to worry, although. I don't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, isn't it? The Reaper's kind of like I'm upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. I ain't talking about nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretching point. But I'm Mr. Natsume in Japan. He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper's more of a skirting than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. It's totally fine. Alright, yesterday's incident. God, was that the world it was. The brand new bloke pulled up a bunch of levers in his machine and suddenly you started bellowing smoke. Then it just went boop. I didn't see the better experiment in the year. Sorry? You mean you saw Ginny with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Keeping everything running smoothly, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson's host, that's going to take some getting used to. So all I have to say is I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this! I was in one of them flying balloons when it happened, pointing from above. No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right? It is. You have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. Where did you start? No, you can't rejoin Scotland Yard. Well, see, anyway, I don't understand if this is the machine explodes spectacularly. How can Professor Bunnybrain be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success. In a way. It was. How can it? Successful experiment. How could that be? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one would fall experience success. It's like I said, it did what would work. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of smoke and with the whoop and great bang. But what I don't think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? That's odd. Oh, over there! You can see it yourself, can't you? Up in the scaffold. Oh, that's what the gas... buddy, you mean... Yeah, the cage what the victim got started with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever, he landed right over there. So, you see, it kinda did work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan on the experiment that drew up in the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I'd have to rebuff for you if that's so fair said. Yes, I didn't actually give it to you, did you? Thank you. About the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what's worth anyway, investigating's not the cards for all of us. That's weird, so like you can't investigate anyone? No one can? Yes, that naughty old Grexy ran off without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate the weird machine what blew up yesterday. That's strange. It's not fair, represented the defendant. Come here, boy. So okay, so at least we learned the investigation. Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call him again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Oh, them! Anyway, part of them laws, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, isn't it? Even if it's got any yards, detectives can investigate? Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander at the quiet, oh, but the boss got me at it. Probably I've been giving a earful about it before you're down there, ain't you? It's not bleeding there. I think you were giving him much of an earful back, as I remember. Yeah, well, sometimes I think if all the chips won't make him so stubborn. You say something in modo. Go on, see if you can get through him. It's up to the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. That's really odd. We could try, can we, Bruno? Greg's gonna listen to us. Alright, let's go ahead and check out this here. This little part right here. Oh, that's what it is. A piece of Cloth. It's not a fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff, it's also durable. This canvas, I think, sort of rubber backing. The edges appear to be pre-charred as well. Maybe that's what means this little explosion. Let's make another one while Julie moving on. So that's gonna be important. And then, look here. This little contraption right here is gonna be important, so keep this in mind. Ah, it looks like still something dropped behind the tree just there. Dropped or hid. Looks like a crossbow. What, is some part of the machine exploded? Maybe, perhaps a bomb or blast rounds. It looks like a crossbow. What's going on here? Oh, nothing! I think I've been hitting this just in case. Mysterious device. Almost has been hitting there deliberately. So we'll check that out. And then we have this. That's where the Gov ended up after the instant kinesis or whatever they call it, dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment success? What's the wooden scaffolding there for? The coppers, a lads set up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. Didn't you help erect the scaffolding? Nah, looking, doing more of my thing, wandering around exhibition, keep the stuff and look at the fun stuff. Mine, Gregson, doesn't hear you saying I heard the It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really be bridged the gap as sort of invisible kinesis? Or something else? It can't be possible. I mean, even 100 something, even like over 100 something years later, it's impossible. Let's check out the mysterious contraption. Yeah, that doesn't look like for me. Yeah, nah, that does not look like a looks more like a crossbow. Wow, there's something sort of lever here. It's a crossbow. What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's something too. It's a crossbow. So yeah, do that. That's gonna be important. Do that. And then this green piece of cloth. Looks like a layers of thick canvas, thick rubber lining, so I've never seen feeling before, but feeling this special fantasy might just being code warm, something related to get wet. And that's charring must be a person got struck by lightning. Experimental sketch. Okay, so we see here how there's the machine and there's the it's really odd. Okay, so we will let's examine the stairs. These stairs leads to the stage above, so we should get there as it's being conducted. Let's go. There it is. So this is it, the machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been an explosion. I've seen a fair share. You've seen the things before, have you, mean? Of course, Hurley's always been to experiments at the end of the bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are very essence of chemistry. Might explain the smell of burning frequently comes from above the stairs. One time, he made something explode with such force it took a roof of the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runa. It's hard to get too excited when given that I live in a roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. Let's go to investigate. Oh, it's Gregson. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought, designing the machine carefully. Really? He looks very confused to me. So let's see what we got here. So there's the actual machine itself. It ripped itself up much time, didn't it? Magnificently. Then mercilessly. Something stands in the middle of the machine, assembled, beamed through the air. Yeah, beamed. Not blasted, is the point. Yes, partial control, really. Something is like the impossible, though, Edis. Oh, Reno, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child who suits you, I mean. From what I can tell, I think you're pulled in. Stop! Don't touch that! That was practically kinesis. If you over there, Grexy. Please, your ladyship. I don't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch me back here. I'm sorry. It's just something to look for it. Delicious. Ah, wonderful. Stuff really suits. It's just like old times, isn't it? Ah, yes. We're representing Professor Harebrine Court Inspector, so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, sunshine, I'm not even allowed to touch anything up here. He's blasted special disposition scientific equipment act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh yes, a specialist position. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government is playing at sometimes. Me neither, honestly. But we're legends, look, aren't we? Yeah? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Grexy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship, but please don't get dainty hands a little dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, will me, Runo? She really knows how to get what she wants. The government policy. Using high voltage electricity somehow to assemble the man's body, and then the beam across the tower, extraordinary thing attempted, especially publicly. True, it's by far more unusual experiments planned in exhibition of mine. To be honest, I was surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with spectators present, I mean. The government doing everything to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're even more worried of being ahead of the game than an odd spot of public safety enrichments. First to develop some new technology makes brain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the power is then placed in heavy emphasis on scientists' rights in the moment. What sort of rights? They're making any theories of brains that remain their legal property, as it were. We're developing a practical idea to even go into production, which is the infuriating reason us coppers are allowed to touch the crime scene, because the new high-faulted Special Disposition Protective Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are some of the brand new department in the yard. The forensic investigation team is called. We've been waiting in regard. Forensic investigation team? All the folk could see the heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. Just because it says scientific equipment on paperwork doesn't mean flaming thing with it! Poor Grexy. If you read, I'm listening. Special disposition. Remind me again, is new act illegal? See what else I've seen here. Oh yeah, that made of sunshine? It's the Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned it recently as real twinkle eyes, as I remember. I've heard it, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Past especially for exhibition like this. All the scientists do present the ideas of investigation suits the civil service. And so we're stamped to guarantee your right to maintain investigation confidentiality. What does it really mean? I don't understand any of it. Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions displayed every day as exhibition. Although a good half of them are little cobbers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. But thanks for that! Oh, I love how some inventions they are. So fun. Might be fun for you, but remember to force to present every single demonstration. Can you imagine it? Hang science. That's what I say. Well, I don't think so. Sounds like a dream job. Who you assume think otherwise better than dig guarding the sham of bogus contraptions? If they're all bogus, can anyone help demonstrate them? No point. Yeah, well, sorry? Thanks to another one of government's bright ideas. If any fear invention and good dreams show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Science get funding. Exactly, and that's what they're called after. The shammers cover far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And it was to keep them all safe, eh? Who would have to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. You can see why I say it now, can't you? Hate science, hang it! Oh, well, you can see your point. So, considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain's lucky to skip unscathed, I'd say. We should have good luck in machine. Don't do anything to make sure you kill me before I get strung up, you hear? I won't touch anything but promise, so please. Anyway, does you really think machine could actually assemble people like Professor claims? He asked, looking clearly, is giving a rest sunshine. And we're allowed to examine the bleeding scrap metal of the question. But we can't, can we? It's kind of dumb. Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! That annoyance could be flaming rules! Oh, look at the base machine there. Oh, yes, there's a tool so I can poke it through the white mesh. Looks like a screwdriver, I think. But it has blood on it. Oh, isn't it lovely? It's handled the shape of a capital letter A. It is. Oh, yes, right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said! Touching anything will make sure I kill you before I get strung up, I said! Yes, I understand. Sorry, I only touched it. But Grexy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really, really very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't look at it. But Bruno found it first. I assure you, investigate further. He's gone with it. That's very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregg says making very clumsy, embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Poor Grexy. Okay. So then we have Professor Harebrain. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right, I came back to Britain especially for it. Especially as I understand. Probably after one of government's research grants. I already learned something about the professor earlier today. Talk about his further education, it turns out he was university, so we both know. Lord Van Zieks. Yeah? What's that? That's news to me! But Van Zieks' main prosecution, such as accused professor's fate is sealed. Because Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story, maybe that. Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper's completely fine, nothing to worry about. That's good. Yeah, right. Glad to hear it. Still, to the Reaper, huh? How long does that business keep going, I wonder? Mystery of the Reaper. the victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Assman, who was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Barack Van Zink's a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict, though sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of Rupert Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands as he failed to seal the deal in court, although the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation. The conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd take my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, how do you explain it? All the defendants could have convincingly died and nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrine mentioned something else. He said that at the university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. You know what? He said that it was after they both graduated something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what that was? No clue. Huh, he was silent for a moment as if he knows. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and take the nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Right. You're done here, Mr. Dodo. Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving, or rather... Is it time you were leaving? There's a lot here now. A lot? The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too. Oh dear, poor Grexy. Here, have another cup. A blend to cheer you up. Well, it's gonna be I hit the spot, Jeff. It's the time. Well, at least you've seen it with my own eyes. Looks like as far as going to investigation here, at least. I've been thinking. Charlie might know something, mightn't he? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zieks, you mean? Because it sounds like something significant occurred at the university. Something completely changed his life. Maybe? I have no idea what Mr. Jones at the moment. He's in the middle of some big cases here. Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of interest ticket? Madame Tuspells. Something gonna mean something to me? Oh, you don't know? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. Very close to Baker Street, actually. You should, if you like. No, we don't have time visiting attractions today. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At that point? Yes. How is it that you know where he is? Hurley told me, but he told us to keep it a secret from you right now. Madame Tuspells. I don't know if it's related to the case we're investigating, but then stranger things have happened. And then they happened. Mr. Sean's usually hard. So let's go. Let's leave. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Madame Tuspells. A waxwork museum. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes, but people so still. Guillotines, ruthless murders. I know, it's really good to that. They're all wax models. They're basically realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Runo? Shocked. Wax models? Yeah! I read about the dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena, depending on how corpses kept their death, partly turned to wax, apparently. It's called a dip so. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyway, a dip doesn't. What now? I just remember something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax for the corpses and put them on display. None of those episodes here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. That can't be. Do you really expect me to believe this? Just look at them. Oh. There's no way anybody wax models are realistic. And there's such gruesome scenes. Wait. What is it? Oh, no. I must be seeing things. So let's go to step ladder. We have this scene over here. What's this one about? Is something infamous murder? Yes, it's called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women. Ah, Jack the Ripper. Yeah, I know where this is going. Yeah, Jack the Ripper. I knew it. You could tell me where she's holding the knife. This is murder. Well, yes. Yeah! What's the matter, Runo? I've worked it out. She's doing. She's trying to kill the bathtub of blood so she can have to soak the victim's gore. Not according to the information in the exhibit, little board there. It doesn't mention anything about bathtub. Really? Then why is there a bathtub? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. Still think it's a reason. So Jane the Ripper, kind of like Jack the Ripper. And then we have a hand here. Then we have the step ladder debate. Oh, it's a funny place, a little ladder. What is it? Something wrong? No, it's just in Japanese. We have a totally different word for ladder that folds the half like that. We do in English too, you know, step ladder, just steps. Be careful of making assumptions about our cultures, Reno. That's how wars are started. I didn't realize step ladders are an international point of contention, but the writer makes it as 2 point. There it is. Got the achievement. So then we have a hand right here. Is that an arm? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models have fallen over. You don't think it could be work with us, Bruno, stop scaring me. It's a wax arm, a real one. Come on, you're always pointing that finger at yours, Core. Poke that arm down, see how it feels. Objection! And we have this. Please not touch the wax models. These models are so well made, I can't tell if the waxwork's real human. Or maybe they're all exhibits of real people. And when it's closing time, visitors have got these cells, start moving. Ugh, I just think about it making a question. What's closing time already on the way home? What about this scene here? Is that an example of Western Tsujijiri? I don't know what that is. You know, when a confused samurai randomly attacks a passerby and tests his sword. I still don't know. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it? Do you think we're now doing that Tsujijiri thing you mentioned? Well, I think I do have a sword. I have no intention of testing how sharp is a human subject, but for now at least. And then there he is. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue? Really? Well, he is world famous after all. That's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl just looking at it. I know. But look, Marina, you can keep this hill. He doesn't move a muscle. Oh, he moved. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Edie's. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. Just a little bit, Eater. Really? Did it? It blinked, and look closely. There's beads of sweat on his face of the waxwork model. Shall we move on, Edie's? Over there, look! The great murder scene to enjoy, more and more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to recoiling in such a manner. It seems really warrant. But Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Edie's, what possessed you? I strictly forbid you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Nanahono. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kid could you exert a little more restraint, you would? But Rita was something he used to ask you. Ah, a question. And I thought you're probably getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny your timing was impeccable to resolve your secret like that. And my great brains upon which success has been to turn to wax. Thank goodness you arrived in time. Indeed! In many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, what do you like? Talk nonsense, don't you? You could know something is true. About Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past changed him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. For your luck, I'm quite suddenly take an idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm quite in a hurry. And it might have still deceive me. I believe something within the walls of a very museum fascinating case. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion it's related to the murder about which we can come to. But how could it be? Wish I was speaking again presently, my dear fellow, but for now, let's return to lyric. What? I think that's every waxwork is of it. Madame Tussbells. What is this place? Madame Tussbells came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened a little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but their displays are something else. I mean, they aren't from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is particularly secret to Tussbells' family, they say. They are renowned during the French Revolution for waxworks as the victims of the guillotine. Ugh, this is grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism, especially the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses right there beside the executions. What the? It really turns my stomach. That's just one of the several legends about Tussbells' family and whether it's true, if you could say. But anyway, this museum hosts models of famous from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area in museums by margin is the House of Horrors. The House of Horrors? Of course, the Great Invisible Building is a great exhibition, but people usually flock here to see from the lens most vile criminals or gruesome work. Naturally, some of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. But it was different now. The models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the publics live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits here are... They are portrayals of real events that actually took place. It's just me, or did the temperature in here just seem drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. He's back to being waxwork, isn't he? Temporary waxwork. What do you mean by temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them. Half an hour I come home different killer, and when the displays adopt a new pose to ensnare them. When members of the public come to closer look, I offer them a handshake. For a shilling, I happily allow them to take a photograph of us. Us? Does that mean waxwork murderers in here too? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there, very fake for the House of Horrors. Yes, that's how they struggle to pay this month's rent, as rabbit as you just consider. No, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you... Was he frightening to rope me to me now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? A special treat, you can pick your murderers and scoundrels in there, shows yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Nudhuddle, ignore me at your peril. Back to big waxwork again. It's just me, or does the final remark sound like a curse? Something to ask you. Well, is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zieks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. Did you find him? Well, I trust. So I filled in Mr. Sholmes about everything I've learned. About Lord Van Zieks, about Professor Herobrine, and about the strange coincidence that I've been at university together. So I'm wondering what's happened to make Lord Van Zieks a different person. I'm sure you know her. You said there was something going on here in the exhibit hall before. Something was afoot. As you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes, you suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable. Greetings. Oh, I can't do a French accent very well, but, you know. Oh, hello. Where does she appear from? What is she wearing? Because she looked more mysterious. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, you know this? Not again! My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tospeles. This is my museum of waxwork. What? You are the Madame Tospeles? Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I am the Madame, only a name, as I said. Gina Siskoe. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxwork, so rather one waxwork in particular. That would be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems too unable to settle. Next time you move from your deserted exhibits, there will be a toil of trouble. Sounds deadly serious. Holy shit, he fell. That was a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zieks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but... I'm so curious. I want you to know what's happening here. Have we had a statement already? Let's talk. The waxwork. Did you make all this waxwork, Madame Tospeles? I did. I am the third generation of waxworks artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in the family. Her fortunes are strictly living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution, she did. Though, that is, she was required to save Savio Fayette at least astonishing likeness. All these waxworks really do look like they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibit here represents the most atrocious of the criminals past, while the waxworks were created in presence of real people in which they were modeled. In the hours immediately after all executions, this is secret to extraordinary life likeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade but excellence. By excellence, one must go extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only the which the public wishes to see. That's horrifying. Do not fear. Sorry? This room is only one of the museums which Macaron fear. Help you explore. There are models famous singers, actors, politicians, something a very taste I was used. Drag me straight in here, I come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I've eased you with this. The Great Detective Waxwork. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what is the spare exhibits need? Edition of world famous Great Detective? Or where's the defect? Ah, naturally I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known to London as a talented detective. It's Great Detective actually, it's very special. Yeah, the creme de la creme, so it's keen to come to agreement with him, of course. But sadly, we weren't able to do any terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge the excursion price for our services. For a mere £500! I will dive into your cauldron of wax at this very moment. £500! Or where is it that effect? Mr. Jones might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current agreement instead. Sure, he doesn't really need us doing that, does he? I would think not, but it is very insistent. I have 50 shilling problem. That will be resolved in the morning. Or what is that effect? It's the pawnbroker, what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Something afoot. I wonder, could I ask something? Be incident? Just curious, is something going on with the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... God! Temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some totally object for trade. Ah! There you are! Leaving to the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait, as our ideas of the current problem is the melting pot instead. But personally, I would advise her to the police. Why ever not? She's turned white as a sheet. Because you have a disposal of a great detective whose services may employ 50 shillings. The police would prefer. No, I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective will deliver his name, shall we? Before I engage my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something. What about the fucking hand? What, pray, behind the curtain? That is Tuspel's special exhibit, so next I'm charged to see it. Ah, special exhibit in the House of Horrors. Must pick a special killer dead, I presume. Would it be kindness to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolute supplemented none. There's a list behind it. There's nothing amiss, madam. But what about the arm that's sticking out? What about the arm protruding obviously under the curtain? Ah! I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a subject gun. Oh, number 139. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. Tuspel special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer would expect no one to be seen. It was strike one, however. It's the poor gentleman lying peacefully on the floor. Well, impressed, Mr. Sholmes. That man on the floor is Ruthless Killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He is perfectly ordinary London gentleman. He's not even waxwork, in fact. What? A skillfully made as waxworks are, these are always distinguished from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first, it's a sizable business transaction been taking place in a special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second, it's that the aforementioned transaction is linked to the serious crime. Ah! She looks pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tuspels, if you agree with my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing the Eastern Detective Temporary exhibit at work. The Great Deduction. The game was afoot. Alright, here we go. Waxwork's fate. To begin here, we must ask ourselves exactly what's in your museum. The answer revealed in a bundle of banknotes portrayed in your bag. The estimation sum £200. That's all my own money. So what does this total money reveal? Ah, not as much as a voluntary glance you cast receiving this mental spells. Yes, the answer lies with your spell. The significance of £200 revealed in the public notice. No, that can't be, no. Waxwork is for sale. This business hit hard times would seem. In short, we sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200. None! Now, let's explore the next curiosity which we are presented. Who are the portly gentlemen stretched out the policeman on the floor? Isn't he one of the jurors from one of the previous cases? It appeared a man suffered a severe shock, the cause of which clearly known to you. Huh. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt man's shocking blow was, of course, the £200. It would appear that you twisted gentleman and anything unthinkable special. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork at the sum of £200. Only when it came to the hand over money, it occurred to him that the extraordinary amount was paid, but the money was no longer in his hands. As a result, the scene was before us. It's a shock. That doesn't make any sense to me. Mr. Killer, special must fetch the killer price. We can only pray the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Waxwork's fate. Sold for cash. Nah, that doesn't make any sense. No. Don't make sense to me. Waxwork's location. The question arises, what becomes of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immensely strikes about this controversy, a young man standing over there. Who was this fellow? It's finance we need to observe, said Neckerchief. Status available, police inquirer. A search for a policeman's secret sign, fellows and forces. Yes, the young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating the museum. I know him involved. In fact, is Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He took Chevrolet last year at the police report. And next, his turn to touch an old man stepping forward, particularly his moustache. I've been watching him closely and moved the muscle almost effectively for waxwork. Huh, but you actually look very suspicious, madam. Only noticed once, of course. Observe. Telltale signs, whatever the price tag. That's for the scarf. £2 a tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps you're going right at aging waxwork for little cracks. And you sell the poorly gentleman for an exhibition £200. This sort of plucky behavior is sure to attract attention to Scotland Yard. Is that so, madam? I do not. Yes, the waxwork has already been seized, but the police remains in custody as we speak. The old man has been reunited with the grave, a special exhibit, in a moment too soon. Yeah, no, doesn't make any sense. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction. A horrifying puzzle. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. She has it out, goddamn. I see you've stunned all to silence. You have, Hurley, you have. But it's stupid reasons. And you've obviously upset the young lady in the process. Her culture looks awfully hot. You could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes. There's notorious note of 1 point in all years, my dear fellow. According to your deduction there, the special exhibit features old policeman. So, what do you mean particular ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The clear policeman. Ultramole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit disappeared in the ether. And it turned out the culprit was the policeman himself, the senior officer by the name of Oldermole. So you mean this sinister-looking old man supposed to be? Indeed, this particular grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember the odious occurrence all too well. But at £200, a lot of money for a wax model? It would be carried enough afforded one last steam carriage, just to put things in perspective. So, quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. I smell the molten wax starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did at least accuse her of race, so I think we might have to call him assistance here. This is alright. Make your mind corrections to good text, great deductions. Of course it's alright. It seems to think straight. Well, let's get started, shall we? Before Madame Tuspels vents her anger! Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall not have the pleasure of exceeding these infamous good detective parents at work. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, here we go. Waxwork's fate. Let's see what we can do. So we have that. Yeah. And then the 200 pounds. So 200 pounds. Real money. It's not the public knows. It can't be it. No. No, can't be. No. She definitely looked in the direction, it's true, but I'm not sure if she was all waxed for 200 pounds. Oh, she must have poured hard sold to make them you think over the wax. For me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would, but it sounds like it makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if 200 pounds still interesting things. Let's follow the featured glance again. Note on the wall. What's that note doing pinned on the wall? Oh, yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tussbells. We've taken the prisoner from this room. The price to safe returns 200 pounds. At the money we're going on October 23rd. What? This is just like the sort of like someone kidnapped. Yes, a ransom note. Exactly.
Take that!
There you go. Ransom note. By that ransom note. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the ransom note. Quite so. I was congratulating the criminals about excuse me. Ah! 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model's question has special importance, but I put together all the money I have. In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have is handbags and ransom money. Now, let's explore Doug's curiosity which we are presented. Who is this poor judgment stretched out a piece on the floor? It would appear as if you're in severe shock. No, that's not 200 pounds. It has to be something else. So Actor was kidnapped. I wonder about that guy. Boxer Cam. There we go. What dealt the man such shocking blow was, of course, the Waxwork hand. Indeed, solid Waxwork limb is delivered such a blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but inspection reveals it's in fact the left. Ah! It's somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam, as a hand of Waxwork model. So it's a waxwork hand. Sometimes museum can be troublesome. They meddle with exhibits and cause damage. Do you mean the arm? Yes, the gentleman saw and tried to remove it as a souvenir. Oh, no small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to the View of the Blossoms. I'm afraid I have not to teach a man a lesson. Oh my god! Just slap him with a hand! You confronted the man and then take the arm back. Bonk! And the result the scene we see before us is knocked unconscious, and 500 years later, Point B was our original conclusion. Yes, the killer, special express, has been kidnapped. Kidnapped. Solved. So we got that one. Now the second one, the location. This is gonna be a hard one. The question it raises has become the waxwork that changed hands. Let's consider a problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. But immediately strikes about the contrast, and you say something about that. The handkerchief? No, it can't. No. It's a handkerchief. Oh, there it is. Yes, stubber. Yeah, shoulder stump. There it is. Yeah, this is the hand that was taken. Found it. What the? The man is stumping at his shoulder where it might be. Ah, well, that still isn't right. It's a real person after all. His entire arm's been ripped off his shoulder then. His arm's been. Of course, it ties in with what we just found. There you go. The shoulder stump. So his arm. So this is the arm that was stolen. So it's this fellow. To find the answer, we need to observe his shoulder stump. No such boneless human walks this earth. As such, I can assure you. It could be. Otherwise, the man standing there, young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds a Waxwork model. It seems to remember it was you who was the real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity, lately being the winner of those 3 police rewards last year. Simply at the model of the man. Naturally, what I say she could beat it. Well, the detective's arm was pulled out. It was a man with a flurry special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, I would like to pay attention to old man's that before in particular massage. I've been watching closely. I've moved the muscle, most effective to your waxwork. Ah, but you... The reaction only confirms suspicious, madam. I noticed him once. Of course, observe. That's on the scarf. That price tag is on the scarf, not the model. A killer policeman called Odermole. Who was he known for? Well, he has all the papers last year, but I can't say what he looks like. It's very low price, though. True price isn't much money. We don't have to move using hours of gas. Mr. Garrett's delightful logics reflect. So does the special killer taken from the special exhibit it is? The waxwork somebody stole in a museum, tried to ransom £200? That's the old clothes. Really? Perhaps I should have a look around. Oh! It's a real police guy. Yeah, it's real. Look at this. The old man is tapping his foot like crazy. It seems like he's falling asleep. He's not tapping his custody. So you mean it must be Twitch? Never mind, Dad. The point is, Waxwork must tap his feet. Or Twitch. I look at his arm too. Spins scarf like that around, haven't we?
Take that!
The obvious Twitch. The telltale sign is it proves whether or not Waxwork is obvious Twitch. Even the most realistic Waxwork stories exhibit a Twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is genuinely effective member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tospels. Well, what? It's me who contacted the police and demanded someone in the first place. He is clearly fatigued, sound asleep. But then, what's the tag shows the price 3 pence? It's the scarf, no doubt the price tag of the muffler. Look, old Bobby purchased recently in the old market. I presume the old scarf tied around this little strike to yes, the secret scientist detective showed us some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there's such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced at the very beginning, Detective. So it would seem they finally ran to the truth. We don't know who stole it. The waxwork of this case, the ruthless killer from the special exhibit, has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard is already investigating. But the model's no whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the horrifying puzzle. There we go. Nice. Elementary, dear boy. All sorts of people in the museum here. Men, women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back to the pub. I welcome them all. But if anybody tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I've been led to believe. It was a pleasure, dear my dear madam. I was gratifying to enjoy the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, no doubt he regained consciousness shortly after return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork special display was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically, it was. Then I would ask you to recount the events surrounding stolen waxwork. As much detail as possible, if you please. Very well, but after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. The town's great detective could put better use, I wish, but I only wish. The stolen waxwork. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It's some days ago now, they gave me a warning. I immediately noticed the waxwork was missing from special exhibits here. It's the most prominent display, so I was carrying it to close. And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken during the night and taken it then. So this waxwork has been stolen. It was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? A particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who I left more of a profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Nerho, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? The Professor case happened at around the time when I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Edith. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time. The Baroque van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying. So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life was the Professor killings. As you've summarized, it was the Professor case. Who is this Professor then? The Professor. It was a series of gruesome murders that all the London gripped in terror a decade ago. After the 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he is immortalized here in the wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of abduction. But I don't understand. How is it all related to Lord Van Zeeks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why has the Professor earned such infamy? It was due to the victims he chose, some of the Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, Hurley? Those murdered by the Professor, who were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. I can't read. Members of nobility, even royalty, sent shockwaves to the country's administration. Members of the... wait! Of course. What Professor Harebrine said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family of noble blood. Oh, gosh. It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zeeks. No. I don't believe it! Van Zeeks! His brother. Yes, I'm sure you can piece together the rest yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor, and even eventually became the Reaper we all know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks' tragic backstory. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say to the matter for the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do. That's work exhibit. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you. Well, none of the predicament scenarios I've been announcing involving you coming to visit me here. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Assman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could have happened. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes! I have a young Eastern man acting as my defense. He seems reliable enough now. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know, I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Barak, are you really? What? Never mind. I know they have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barak. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Well, anyway, it's a long investigation. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever. And next time we're gonna go ahead and start the trial. So we're gonna start the first part of the trial. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye.